A guide to everything in Costa Rica involves more than birds, as our group of avian investigators learned. Sure, we scrupulously ticked off lists of birds we saw, but we also took side trips to places like the Toucan Rescue Ranch, where we brought in supplies from the United States to help staff treat injured creatures and return them to the wild. During our tour, we admired guide Isak's Ironman shirt and later asked ranch founder Leslie Howell and vet supervisor Andreas about the event. One of the things we're curious about is Andreas's Sloth Ironman shirt, which, Leslie, you can explain what Sloth Ironman is.
Sloth Ironman is an event that we do during Sloth Month, which is October, and it's an event that we've done for several years now as a fundraiser, and it is basically an Ironman Games but for the sloths. And so each person selects their sloth lead of who they're going to support through the games, and they have to do a series of activities. It's basically things that they do on a daily basis, enrichment activities. But the first one is like eating a hibiscus flower, and that's timed. And then the second one is like a 1 meter dash, and then one of the other ones is called a poop off, where we time them for their pooping skills.
Okay, and Andreas, your sloth was?
Last year, my sloth was, I believe, Tallulah.
And how did Tallulah do?
She did really well.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is a fast 1 meter for the sloth?
A fast 1 meter for a sloth can actually be quite fast.
And I do want to know about the pooping skills.
Yeah, well, sloths only go to the restroom about once a week, and they will only go in a very specific way, and they can take quite a bit to do it, because since they only go once a week, they can hold up to 1/3 of their whole body weight every time they go. And so, you know, that takes a while.
And to win, is it speed or quantity?
It's speed.
And both of the happy and sad notes, we'll start with sad, they don't all make it. How do you emotionally cope with that?
It's very difficult, actually. I've been doing this for many, many years, and I've been taking care of the babies, so I don't sleep very much. But it is very emotional, and you get attached, and he'll be the first one to say to me, you know, don't get attached. We can't save them all. You know, people say that to me all the time, but it's different when you're, you know, every 3 hours getting up and feeding this baby, and they look like they're doing better, and then they have a setback, and, you know, they end up not making it, and we just have to keep going.
And a couple of happy stories.
Yes.
Well, I think one of my favorite sloth leads, actually, that we've ever had, his name is Cronus. He was happily released this past year, but he is probably one of the coolest sloths I've ever had the pleasure of working with. Extremely, 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 extremely intelligent.
Yes.
Some might say annoyingly so. His favorite place in the world was away from his foster siblings, deep into a bag of leaves, just eating the best leaves and leaving all the bad ones for his siblings to eat later.
He was a good release candidate.
He was a great release candidate.
We saw animals at other venues like the La Paz Waterfall Gardens, which features indigenous cats, plus the chance to admire frogs and snakes. But we didn't need organized places for all our observations. Just wandering around hotel grounds in the 5 areas we stayed revealed various forms of life. They can move fast, but right now it's not moving fast. We have an orange tail. Yeah, that's a fast one. This is the refrigerator area at Esquinas. Let's say corners correctly in Spanish, and here's the gang. Those hotels added to the trip's fun by providing distinct rooms, beautiful gardens, and pleasant dining. Since we love indulging in locavore habits, we toured farms producing Costa Rica's major export, coffee. Touring over at Doca Coffee Factory in Alajuela, a place that's been operating for more than 100 years and still uses some of the same equipment. ¿Cómo se llama?
Reinaldo.
¿Por qué es el café en Costa Rica mejor? En inglés.
In English, well, Costa Rican coffee, I can say, is one of the best because it's Arabica. We have a very good soil, microclimates, yeah, and the way we process it, the way we treat the coffee, that makes one of the best.
It's a lot of work by hand.
It is, yeah, all manual. Pura
Gracias.
vida. Con mucho gusto. Pura vida.
Coffee helped us wake up, while people like guide Mario Cordoba and birder/driver Rodrigo led us to places we would never find on our own. They proved miracle workers, spotting birds and dealing with surprises like a flat tire by a place called the Highway of Death. This is not the Highway of Death that we were on earlier.
It's worse.
It's worse than the Highway of Death?
It's worse than the Oh My God road in Colorado. It has trees.
Well, Fred, if you tried to drive on this road, what would I do to you?
You wouldn't get out of the car and scream.
Oh boy, we get to leave this road. Our hours in the bus never proved boring since the country's landscapes offer so much beauty. We are at 11,380 feet looking for a volcano junco. We've actually seen volcano hummingbirds at the hummingbird stop. 5 stories up, an observatory where there's actually not anybody to observe right now. And there's a hollabird hiding. Yeah, got a hollabird. Artists like Tamara capture some of the country's beauty, and we loved stopping at her gallery.
I paint since I was 14 years old. I studied art and graphic design, and after that I specialized in scientific illustration. And then this is my work. All the products you can see are made in Costa Rica, and I donate 3% to Cabanisi project, and all the sales, my business. And thank you. I am so nervous, happy, and excited. and welcome to my house.
Still, our daily adventures led us back to birding, where we made many discoveries. So there is a movie called The Birder's Guide to Everything. And as a birder, you're a real birder compared to some of us. Mary Braun.
It's all relative, right?
Okay. What kind of guide or lessons does birding provide a person?
Birding teaches you to be very quiet and calm.
Like you?
Patient. Well, you can learn.
If somebody said that a birder has a guide to everything, what kind of everything or lessons can people learn from birding?
Be very patient. Build up your shoulder muscles, because you're holding your binoculars up all the time and your neck gets a lot of pain. So you need to do some exercise.
In A Birder's Guide to Everything, there are lessons to be learned from birding, or skills and techniques to do birding. What do you have, Fred?
Well, birding's been a lot of fun, but I'm still trying to learn about the birding bio-ecosystems, because I'm so interested in why these birds live where they live. What do they feed on? How do they live? And how does that all interact with Mama Nature's entire ecosystem, like we have at home with the Clark's nutcrackers, who plant all the seeds for the whitebark pines.
What does that type of thing teach you about everything?
It teaches me about life.
This is our last night, and we're not ready to leave. This is what we're looking for? And you're the expert pulling it up on your phone, so you don't have to take pictures.
Right. But if I had to take a picture, I have a good phone.
And that's a good picture. Bird butt. Turn around and grab a flower. Yum. Flowers look good.
Oh my God, we've become one of them.
A birder! Whether neophyte, experienced, or merely enthusiastic, we now qualify as birders who can appreciate the avian world both at home and in Costa Rica. That's an owl swinging in the wind, looking at us, saying, "What are those stupid people doing out in the wind?" Don't stop it. Don't grab it. It's stuck. It's stuck. Flower piercer. He's piercing flowers. Background noise involves describing how to see this.
It's a beautiful. So what is he called?
Tiger heron.
Tiger heron, yeah. Big guy.